what's the story behind this dance? Why is it always changing?
Well, it was meant to be sort of a Lotus signature piece, and the Odissi guru, who is Bonnie Ray's guru, had been coming to Lotus from India to work with the Odissi group. And one year that he came, we were putting together a cross-cultural Ramayana, in which we had invited the Odissi group, a Burmese group, and a Filipino group to bring their stories of the Ramayana into one production. And Guruji was so impressed with the fact that all these different cultures were coming together and working together and being so creative. When he went back to India, he conceived of this piece called Lotus, the energy within, so that it was sort of symbolic of how Lotus nurtures creativity and bringing together all these different cultures.
So from in Lotus, the Spirit Within, there were like 5 different types of dance forms. So what the experience? How's your experience like trying to dance with all these different dance forms? Like, is it difficult?
It is interesting. I won't say it is difficult. It is very interesting, and when I explain to them the other dance forms, I have to go inside my dance form even more carefully, because I take some things for granted, and I do things. But when I have to explain to the other forms, I have to know exactly what, and speak the language which is universal. Doesn't have to be, because in Indian dancing we personifies all the energies that present in us, in every one of us. But when we are talking to the other forms, we have to say that the vigorous, your strong movements, or the softer movements, or chaos, those, the sun. I mean, all these, it's universal. Everybody has, in their dance form or in their lives, everybody is sharing the same universe. So it's all universal, and everybody has common movement. So it's actually, it's even making more helping me to be aware of my dance form more.
First of all, you are a flamenco dancer, and right now you are participating in the Lotus, the Spirit Within, which is mostly Indian dancers. How's your experience with this, with the two totally different dances?
Well, it's an interesting experience. All these, they've been studying since they were children, and you could see that it comes from their heart. I've studied flamenco from a different time, but it's all rhythm based. It's amazing that they're getting all this sound with flat feet, without any shoes. I know flamenco was influenced by some of that footwork, because they're very close, in Andalusia, that whole area.
Yep. So I was actually looking at that. I was thinking if you didn't have shoes on, would you be able to do the same?
I don't know. I saw the girls doing some foot warm-up exercise the other day, and I tried to do it in my shower, and I was going barefoot, and it's a whole nother thing. Of course, I'm wearing a little bit of a heel, but the rhythm is in my feet, but it's a different technique. But it's very interesting and very exciting for me, because it's something that I've never really experienced. So other than when I started working with them.
Yeah. So this dance is, I think it's like, you can call it a cultural exchange.
Totally.
Yeah. So
yes.
How important do you think it is for for this type of cultural exchange?
Well, being here in America and the United States, I mean, that's what we are. We're a big melting pot of different cultures. And I heard Bonnie speaking earlier, it's true. In flamenco, and I also have a Mexican dance company, it's important to teach people who are born in this country that come from other cultures what their culture is about. And that's what we're doing. We're giving, American-based, people from other countries are learning their own culture with somebody, which is pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm. What do you enjoy most about Kathak dancing?
Honestly, I just love all aspects of it. I can't really choose. I love the getting dressed part, the being on stage, the rehearsing, collaborating with other dancers within my style and also others, as this is my first one. So I had a lot of fun doing this.
So can you tell us the your experience in dancing in this piece?
Well, it was pretty different. This is our first time together doing it as well. It was somewhat difficult because it takes a lot to understand and being able to conform our dance to make it in sync. So we had fun doing it. It was difficult, but the end result, like everyone said, it was wonderful.
She's also a modern dancer.
Yeah, I'm a Kuchipudi dancer, and I thought that it was easier for the three of us because we're all Indian classical dancers to kind of come together, and it also works with the piece because we represent the lotus. But then, at first, it was hard to kind of find our way with the men, dancing with the men. But then at the end, it literally is the energy that kind of brings us together. It's like you listen to the music and you just feel it, and somehow it just magically comes. It's just magic. It just comes together. It's the most beautiful feeling. Kuchipudi is an Indian classical dance. It comes from the state of Andhra Pradesh, which is in southeastern India. Kuchipudi is very much like Bharatanatyam, which is it's like a well-known sister of this form of dance. It's very graceful. It has very intricate footwork. We always tell a story when we dance. Originally, it was only performed by men in ancient temples, actually, and it tells Hindu mythology, basically those stories. So,
What do you think is the most important part of Kuchipudi dance?
I would say the facial expressions are so important for Kuchipudi because I find at least that when you're watching someone dance, you watch their face. Through your peripheral vision, you watch their movements. And in Kuchipudi, there's so much facial expression, partly because you're telling a story. And so you always have to look engaged in what you're doing. So I think that's the most important part for me.